Here are a few application questions of the percent equation. So on average, Drew Brees completes 66.2% of his passes. If he attempted 659 passes in 2014, how many would we expect him to complete? So instead of using the proportion that I would normally use on a question like this, we're going to write that as an equation. And remember, this is the part and this is the whole times the percent. So 659, is that whole or is that part? Well, it says attempted 659. That would mean that's the whole. I'm trying to find the part. And to do that, I would multiply by 66.2%. So I would then turn that into 0.662. So percent turn into decimals. And then, of course, this one I would just multiply. When I multiply those two values, I get 436.258. I want to round to the nearest whole pass because that, of course, would make sense. And so that would be, we would expect 436 passes to be complete out of his 659. If you were to solve this using a proportion, again, the 659 would be the whole. The percent would be 66.2 over 100. The x would go here, and you would end up with the exact same answer, 436. Here's a question for you to try on your own. In the last presidential election, President Obama received 51.1% of votes, which is the same as 65.9 million. So the question is, how many votes were cast? And they want us to round our result to the nearest whole vote. So obviously we can assume this is a rounded number, 65.9 million, but because they asked for the nearest whole vote, we're going to have to do a little bit of work here. Again, its part equals whole times percent. So the part would be the 65.9 million. That would be the part. The whole would be, I don't know. That's what I'm trying to solve for. And of course, the percent would be 0.511. So 0.511 multiplied by x, which would be the total votes cast. Now notice I kept this in millions, which is fine, but when I get to the end, I'm going to have to move that decimal a little bit. So 0.511 is what I'm dividing by. And when I do that, I get 128.96281800, and I'm going to stop right there. Now remember that this is in millions of votes, but they've asked me to please round my result to the nearest whole vote. So that means I would have to take this times 1 million, which is how many places? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places would be a million. So 128, let's see, hold on, let me get it written down first. So I'm confusing myself. So 128,962,818 votes is about how many votes total were cast in the last presidential election.